This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, welcome and adab. You are listening to Bharat FM, a one-of-its-kind, multilingual, eclectic provider of entertainment, information and news to Indian Americans. Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, Bharat FM airs shows out of Cincinnati, Chicago and Phoenix. We take pleasure in our ability to cater to your bhakti, chusti, sfurti, shakti and masti needs with our audio and visual shows. Check out bharatfm.com for our online program schedule and archives. I'm sure the content will definitely tickle your senses. Tune in via the 24-hour web streaming on bharatfm.com or via the Bharat FM app. More information can be procured at 513-488-5070.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, United States. Good morning to New Jersey, Cincinnati, Phoenix, and Chicago. And good evening to all the viewers in India. Namaskaram, Namaste. Usha Venkatraman, your host on Storytellers Cafe. Welcome to Storytellers Cafe. We have completed a year of hosting, or I have completed a year of hosting Storytellers Cafe, 1 year with Bharat FM Media. It's been a wonderful journey, friends. I never knew that Storytellers Cafe would become a part of Bharat FM, and every Sunday without missing a Sunday. I think we just missed one Sunday a couple of months ago, and otherwise we've been there every Sunday bringing you stories and storytellers from across India as well as from across the world. The USP of Storytellers Cafe is to listen to stories, to enjoy listening to stories, because to navigate through these difficult times, it's wonderful to listen to some timeless tales from our epics, some folk tales, wonder tales, as well as legends, myths, and so many other varieties of stories using the different communication medium, either through writing or through music or through dance, telling a story. Well, today we have a very, very great exponent of the Harikatha style of storytelling, and my guest is from United States, New Jersey. Let me bring Veena Mohan, our guest tonight. Welcome, Veena, to Storytellers Cafe. It's a pleasure to host you on our anniversary special. Storytellers Cafe completes on the 27th, that is this Sunday, a year's journey on Bharat FM. And it's wonderful to have an exponent of the Harikatha style. Let me introduce Veena Mohan to you, my guest. Veena is a speech pathologist by profession, working as a consultant in New Jersey, United States for the past 27 years. Veena is trained in Bharatanatyam, Carnatic music, and the theatre art. Veena has been presenting Harikatha since 2001 in English, Kannada, English Tamil combination in New Jersey, New York, Boston, Connecticut, Virginia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Staten Island, Tennessee, Ohio, California, and Bangalore, India, for various temples and cultural organizations. Veena has also presented live Harikatha at various temples across the United States. Well, the notable among them, the Venkateshwara Temple, Aurora, Chicago, the Lemont Hindu Temple of Greater Chicago, Venkateshwara Temple of Pittsburgh, the famous Balaji Temple, Ranganatha Temple of New York, and many, many others in the United States. All live programs were attended by houseful audience and they were well appreciated. Stories like Bhakta Prahalada, Devi Mahatmyam, Maya Bazar, Rukmini Kalyanam, Sita Kalyanam, Parvati Kalyanam, Andal Kalyanam, Bhishma Pitama, Shri Ramanujacharya, Lavakusha, Danashura, Danashura Karnan, Vedanta Desikar, Gaja Gauri Vrata, Bhu Kailasha, Shri Krishna Garudi, Gajendra Moksha, Akka Mahadevi, and many, many other stories from our epics. Our recent performances in Bangalore include Lavakusha and Purandara Dasa. They were attended by large number of audience and was recognized and appreciated in the local newspapers like Vijaya Karnataka, Sanjeevani, etc. Veena started presenting Harikatha with a goal of one program a year, but now she's presenting one or two in a month. That's completely laudable, Veena. Mrs. Veena Mohan's Harikatha videos are available on YouTube under Veena Mohan Harikathe. So please do go on to YouTube and you can definitely check out Veena Mohan's Harikatha videos. I just want to take a little bit of your time to tell you what is Harikatha. Harikatha literally means the story of Hari or Vishnu. And this is spending time with the story. In ancient times, Harikatha was performed by a narrator, also known as Bhagavatar, and I will let Veena talk more about it, in the premises of the temples and other holy places. And usually the katha would be a story based on the importance of the festival or the lives of great men or the birthdays of holy men. Stories from our epics, actually. So, welcome to Storytellers Cafe, Veena. Now the stage is yours. Welcome and tell us about your journey into this wonderful field, ancient traditional style of the oral tradition of storytelling.
Namaste, Namaskara, Namaskaram to all the listeners. And thank you, Usha Venkatraman. By doing a service like this, you're not only helping the artists, but especially this ancient art of Harikatha or Harikate or Kada Kalakshepam or Bhagavad Katha, whatever name you call it, especially in our state, this art is diminishing at a very faster rate. And probably that was bothering me so much as I grew up. I come from a very small town in southern India called Hassan. It's a very small place. And in that place, but it's rich in cultural activities. And my father was the mayor of the town, and he was a big supporter of all cultural activities in the town. He would arrange programs of Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Yakshaganam, Kadakali, or dramas of famous drama companies coming to our hometown, or let it be singers like Balamurali Krishna, Jesudas sir, anybody for that matter. Carnatic Sangeet, Hindustani Sangeet like Bhimsen Joshi and those people. And or Bharatanatyam dancers like Hema Malini. So Vaijayanti Mala. So many artists used to come to our hometown. My father used to arrange. And one of the biggest support that he was giving was for Harikathas. Haridasas of Karnataka are extremely popular to bring in the line of Bhakti Margam, to preach devotion through their storytelling, kada, kade, uh, mixed along with music. And Karnataka style specializes in Harikatha specializes in not only the storytelling part, but it intermingles the good literature specifically written for Harikatha, that is the Sahityam or the literature part of it. It all, and our Haridasas used to wear jingles on their feet, and they used to have what is called this talam, and they would give the beats, and they would have the harmonium and tabla along with them, and whole night they used to do the kathas. They used to tell stories for the whole town used to gather. I remember as a young child, my mother would take all of us with poha, the spicy poha. She would have it in her bag, and we would sit the whole night eating the poha and listening to the story and the mesmerizing stories told by Haridasas, which are intermingled with music, with dance, with elements of drama and jokes. We call it as upakathas. Upakategalu was very popular because it would make the audience smile, laugh in between, and it would wake them up and become alert. And in between, Haridasas would Shri Madhramana Govinda, and all of us are supposed to say Govinda. In between, they used to say it just to make sure that we are all alert and awake. They would tell us jokes, or he would shout out Govinda, Govinda, and then we all would wake up and then again be alert. Such was the exciting storytelling events that used to happen throughout the year. And the story was not like these days, just for a few minutes, for 45 minutes. It was for the whole night. It would start somewhere around like 10 o'clock in the night and go on until 5. However, due to either short attention span or due to people do not have time, everybody is running, but where? Running where? That's the question. But everybody is running. Everybody is fast-paced, this world. So we cannot have, whenever they call me for programs for storytelling, for Harikatha, they say, Madam, can you finish it in 45 minutes? I have to, like next week, Saturday, I have 2 kathas coming up. One is on the saint, the life story of Akka Mahadevi, a saint from Karnataka, her life story, and or in the Bridgewater Temple of New Jersey, I am doing Srinivasa Kalyanam as part of Brahmotsavam program of the temple. The Lord's story needs to be told. Maximum is 90 minutes that they have given me. In that, I have to bring the whole story of Lord. I have to give them enough music. I have to show them enough abhinaya, enough dramatic elements, and bring out the whole effect. As Haridasas, like you mentioned before, this kathas used to be performed in the temple. The temple will have a huge stage-like thing. The whole town would gather over there, as there was no other entertainment media at that time. So everything was focused on the temple. The temple was the center of the town, and the Haridasas were important people, as they would entertain and educate. Both were done through this media. So it is the storyteller's responsibility to transport the audience to the era where the story is occurring. If he is talking about Satya Yuga, Lord Narasimha's story, they have to transport the audience to Satya Yuga. and make them feel the presence of Hiranyakashipu and the Hiranyakshan. Or Treta Yuga, if they are taking them to Treta Yuga, to Rama's story, Sita entering the Agni Pravesham right in front of all the audience after waiting for 14 years, after waiting for a long time for Rama to come and rescue her. You have to bring out the plight of Sita Mata, entering the Agni Pravesham, doing the Agni Pravesham right in front of the Lord. She waited for him the whole year. But did Rama express the happiness as he saw Sita after the Ravana Mardanam, after the Samharam of Ravana? He did not even ask her, "How are you, my dear? How are you, Sita? Or I missed you." All he said in a Gambhira voice is, "Lakshmana, prepare the fire pit. Let Sita enter the fire and prove her purity." He was questioning her purity when she waited for him that long. If you're going to take them to Treta Yuga for this, or if you're taking them to Dwapara Yuga to see Lord Krishna's mischief, they talked about the characteristics of a storyteller that the dasas have specified. You have to transform yourself into the character of the story, of each character. You got to do voice variations and changes in the facial expressions, or you have to do the enactment or the abhinaya in such a way that they feel. For example, if Ravana is the laughter of Ravana, the wicked laughter, "I am Ravaneshwara," and me, Ravana, the Lankeshwara, is entering. Or if you want to bring out the character of Ravana or a Hiranyakashipu, you got to do that dramatic element so that the audience is getting transformed into that era. Hence, the dasa specified, if you are doing storytelling, what are the things that you need to do? Let us get a glimpse of Bhakta Prahlada. In the story of Bhakta Prahlada, if the fear, or the anger of Lord Narasimha, who saw Hiranyakashipu torturing his devotee, how Lord Narasimha appeared. Let us watch a small clip from Bhakta Prahlada.
Yes, Veena. Just a moment. This brings me to a little question which is connected to watching the video clip. So, Harikatha is a style of storytelling. It's a traditional style of oral tradition where what are the elements that you use? You use music? Do you use dance form? What are the elements that go into Harikatha or in Kada Kalakshepa? And then I can play that, just for our audience to understand.
Mainly the storyline of what topic that you're going to present. The storyline has to be authentic, as described in the Puranas, as described, as authentic as possible. So your thorough reading of the material and preparing the story script first is the most basic thing. And as per the story script, as per the screenplay as it goes on, you have to intermingle that with appropriate music, appropriate raga bhavans. Suppose you are taking a patho scene. It's just coming to my mind, Sita only as patho all the time. As patho, you select the appropriate ragams, and for that you select the appropriate lyrics, what is available either specifically written for the katha. So you need to select that lyrics and have the appropriate raga samyojana or the music composition with that particular ragam. Okay, you have that music, lyrics, story, script. Then you need to have, because you got to give a visual representation. In the very traditional, if you go back, very back, it was all males who did the harikathas because they have to stand in front of a crowd for the whole night. A woman was not allowed to, especially a family lady was not allowed to stand in front of all men, all other public through the night. So harikathas were not done by females. So and the men, they used to wear jingles, and they used to have this talam, and they used to basically do a little wavy movement and the step movements, the feet. But I think I have included this more of abhinaya element into harikatha. That's what one of the audience told me, ma'am, this is not there in there, but this is good because it gives us little bit one more aspect of the art. One more art is involved in it. So I have
Yes.
included more of because I'm trained in Bharatanatyam. I thought with the lyrics, if I can enact the bhavam, the expression of the lyrics, it is more appealing to the audience and more they can get involved. So it contains the dance element, and it also contains the drama element. If two characters are talking, and if the harikatha storyteller makes the changes in the voice, so it brings in
Right.
two characters. That's a drama element too. And then I will have background score with my orchestra team. I tell them, you can watch in the clips how the
Yeah.
harmonium and the tabla, that I tell them to how to play accordingly to the which gives that aura, which gives that feel what scene is happening. Is it anger scene, or is it pathos scene, or is it a humor scene? So the harmonium and violin and the tabla people have to change the way they play. So this orchestra involvement. So we have basically story structure, we have lyrics, that means the literature part of it, then we have the music, the singing part of it, then you have the dramatic element part of it, then you have the dance part of it, plus the background score from the musicians. So all this will come together to make a story a perfect one.
Thank you, Veena ji. Thank you so much for explaining it so beautifully. For all the listeners, you're watching Storytellers Cafe. It's our anniversary special, and our guest tonight is Veena Mohan from New Jersey, United States, and beautifully explained what is Harikatha, what is the style of traditional storytelling. Before we go to the clip, because I wanted to finish the talking and then watch all the clips, Veena ji, you're dressed beautifully and you're wearing a garland. So this is how a harikatha would be garlanded and sitting, and then starting the story narration in that complete paraphernalia that goes with the storyteller's garb, the bardic style of storytelling, singing, music, drama, all the elements that you described,
Yes,
right?
yes, correctly. Because especially before the katha is started, as I said, usually it is in the temple, And Harikatha or Harakatha is story about God. Whether it is saints, they are also come in the under the same line of religious people. The saints or the historical figures that you're doing, it's all Krishnarpanamastu. Everything for the Lord only we are doing.
For Hari.
And, yeah, for the Lord. So everything is given back to Lord. Everything sarvam krishnarpanamastu. So whatever we are doing, and hence it was being done in the temple, the priest of the temple will put this garland to Lord and like ashirvadam, like as though get go, like Lord is telling us, okay, start your program about me before starting the program as a blessing. So today for the program, I put it in front of Lord. I took his blessings and I have worn this myself.
Thank you. So I will play now Prahalada, Bhakta Prahalada.
Now the scenario that the clip that we had picked was Hiranyakashipu is asking his son, where is Hari? Where is Hari that you always talk about? Is he here? Prahlada says, yes, father, he is here. Is he in this tree? Yes, father, he is there. Is he over there? Yes, father, he is there. Is he in this pillar? In this pillar that I have built in my palace? Do you think your Hari is in this pillar? And Prahlada smiled and said, yes, father, he is everywhere. Hari is everywhere. And you call him with devotion. You call him. He will appear. He will come. The child said it with such an emotion, such a devotion. And Hari instantly decided to come and save this devotee. And as Hiranyakashipu said, Prahlada, your Hari is in my pillar right in front of me. Look, I'm going to test right now. And if your Hari is there, call him. Let him come and rescue you. He takes his mace, turns it around, and he hits. As soon as he hits, there's a big thunder-like sound, and the pillar breaks, and Lord Narasimha has appeared with a big forehead and with the hair scattered all around, and with the sharp nose, and with the mouth open, and with the tongue sticking out, and he's screaming, and there's a broad chest, and he has many ayudas, though he is going to use his nails, and the nails and the end of the nails contained Sudarshana Chakra in it. He jumped out of the pillar, and the war began between Hiranyakashipu and Lord Narasimha. The fight went on, and finally, Lord Narasimha, wow! He roared and he dragged Hiranyakashipu to the outside of the house, and on the threshold he put his body and he slid him into a pot, took out the intestine and put his garland, put it as a garland. And Lord Narasimha was angry. Lord Narasimha was angry. And as he roared and turned his head around, the whole 7 worlds they shook, and the big waves in the sea, a big sound everywhere, and Mukkodi Devatas, they appeared in order to calm down Lord Narasimha. They prayed, they prayed, they prayed. But Lord Narasimha would not calm down. Lord Narasimha would not calm down. Then Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi came near and tried to pacify, tried to make him calm down. He did not calm down. And Lakshmi also with the fear went away. Now Lord Brahma brought the devotee, the child, Prahlada, and said, Prahlada, he came for you. You go to him and calm him down. Slowly, Prahlada came and bowed to this ferocious Lord Narasimha. Namo, 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 Narasimha. As the child started singing and praying, the Lord Narasimha, who was Ugra Narasimha, who was angry, started to calm down, and he showed Abhayahastam. Do not fear my child. Do not fear my child. His eyes with anger. Calm down. Shantam. Shantam. He took Prahlada on his lap, and Lord was started conversation with the child.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you need to take a pause. I have got one of your videos and I'm going to remove myself, Veena ji, and play this so that the audience can see the video recording of your Harikatha. Yes.
ಅತ್ತ ಅದು ಸಿಂಹ ಸಿಂಹ ಅಲ್ಲ ಚಿರತೆ ಹೆಬ್ಬಾವು
I don't know what is the problem. The picture is here, but it's not being shared. I think maybe Hari wants you to perform the story, you know, not the video recording. I'm extremely sorry. So here you had a myriad of emotions in the Prahalada story, you know, when Hiranyakashipu, kicks at the pillar or storms towards the pillar to hit it with his mace. And when Narasimha emerges, this half man, half animal, lion's face. That was beautifully portrayed. You had that anger, the really, the krodham, that kind of a thing where Lord Narasimha had enough. So you showed some beautiful emotions, Veena ji. So is there another story where you deal with a different emotion that you bring out in your storytelling?
Yeah, for example, let's take the story of Lavakusha, which comes in the Uttara Ramayana. After Rama Pattabhishekam has happened, whatever happens after that is Uttara Ramayanam. In Uttara Ramayanam, the Sita Mata is accused. Sita Mata is accused by a she's pregnant with the twins, but Rama sends her to the forest, and Lakshmana takes Sita to the forest, and he has to leave her. And he has to leave her, and Sita asks Lakshmana, Lakshmana, what is my mistake, Lakshmana? What did I do? What did I do for Lord Rama to send me back to the forest? Why you brought me to this forest, Ravana? Explain to me. Then Lakshmana, with full tears in his eyes, he said, Mata Sita, what can I explain? The subject, one subject in our kingdom, he was fighting with his wife for going away to her mother's place without telling the husband. He took the example of you, Mata, of staying in someone else's, some other man's custody for many, many, many months. And your husband even did not even know where you were, and you stayed in someone else's custody. And still Rama brought you back. Still Rama brought you back. So he was questioning your purity and Rama's decision, Mata. Hence Rama decided to send you back to forest, to leave you in the forest. Sita doesn't. Lakshmana, but still, what did I do wrong? That day I did the Agni Pravesham. That day I did the Agni Pravesham, and all Devatas, including my father-in-law, agreed that I was pure. Then only Rama brought me back. And now Rama took this decision. Rama took this decision and no one questioned it. My in-laws, did they keep quiet? Didn't they question him, Lakshmana? And my devotee, my brother Hanuman, did he keep quiet, Lakshmana? Did he keep quiet? Lakshmana, leave aside everybody. Did you agree with this Rama's decision? Did you agree? Lakshmana says, Mata Sita, it does not matter who agrees or who doesn't agree. It is Ramagya. This is the order of the king, Mata. This is the order of Lord Sri Rama. And we all need to follow it. He leaves Sita and the chariot goes back to Ayodhya. Amidst in the forest, all alone, pregnant Sita runs behind Lakshmana. Hey Rama, what shall I do now? What shall I do? I'm all alone. Where shall I go? And suddenly she sees around, the darkness is happening. The Lord Surya is also going away, and there are so many wild animals. The lions there, the lions are roaring. The tiger is jumping, and a snake is going right near her, and a big bear, the big bear, and she's so afraid. She's so afraid. What do I do? What do I do now? Where do I go? She was scared. These animals, what shall I do now? The queen of Lord Rama, the princess of the Janaka's kingdom. Today, she is all alone in the forest. She is fearing. She's afraid. She is crying. Not once she got angry on Lord Rama. Rama, this is what you wanted. This is what you want. And I will follow. I will follow. I will follow. Hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram. She falls down. This was the emotion of the fear and battle. And,
Thank you, Veena.
and
Yes, please go on.
and again, Haridasas also said, you gotta mesmerize, you gotta keep bringing something new as the story is going on. Never leave the story script. Nowadays, I've been seeing Harikathas happening where the storyline is left somewhere else. If Harikatha person, the storyteller, is an expert in music, for example, she goes on to sing kirtanas with ragam, tanam, pallavi, and all that, where music takes the prominent stage, the story is forgotten somewhere else. Story is gone somewhere else where the music, ragam, tanam, pallavi, no, these, but whatever you're doing, the music or the dance or the drama element should be incorporated into the storyline. Storyline is the main. We should not leave the storyline. We have to go in that script, prescribed that script, what you have written. The story is the main. The storytelling is the main thing, and these are all supplementing. So, and even if you are putting like humor, for example, to make, if you see the audience, they're kind of like they're going away, immediately the Harikatha or the storyteller should bring in a humor. Hey, listen, there was this fight happening. We are talking about Lord Sita and Lord Rama having a fight between a husband and a wife. Hey, this newly married wife, she brought coffee to the husband, and husband drank the coffee, and it was bitter to the core. But she's the newly married wife, and he cannot say. And she's asking the husband, Ree, how is the coffee? And now the husband has to say, but he cannot say. So he said, oh, the person who is like a god, you call him Mahadeva. I forgot the humor part of it. I'm just saying it, like you got to bring in the humor part of it to awaken the audience, and then immediately get back to the story. So, for example, and like Dasas used to introduce fast rate of speech. So if they're explaining, and if they see, audience is kind of like sleepy, Lord Narasimha came. Lord Narasimha came. Lord Narasimha. And people will wake up. And in order to catch their attention, Bari Ramanan Mukandadalla Kaniro Nama Toraviya Narasimha Acham Pachamuttu Ratnagalu Innu Eshtu Ivayo Endu Karanannu Bagidu Karanalli Bagidu Ha Endabarisanante Narasimha. This is in Kannada language. I'll say it again. Bari Danamanennu Kondaddalla Kaniro Nama Toraviya Narasimha Achamuttu Prakladanam Muttu Ratta Pachagalu Innu Eshtu Ivayo Endu Karanannu Bagidu Karanalli Daridu Ha Endabarisanante. So you got to talk fast like this so that audience get attracted towards you. All that the Dasa is saying, that one poet described Lord Narasimha as he did not just come out and then kill Hiranyakashipu. How did it look to the eyes of the poet? He is looking like the gems, like a Prahlada. Maybe the father Hiranyakashipu has many, many gems like a Prahlada in his stomach. So he is doing this and taking the intestine out and checking, are there many more gems like Prahlada inside you? This is what the poet of looking at Lord Narasimha. So this fast rate of speech, also Dasas used to include in between. I try to include this kind of variety as I'm talking, taking the audience through the story. And
Yes, yes, Veena ji, if I may just intervene. Yeah, we call this pacing in the story, so that, and also raising your voice to a crescendo, so that dramatization. So if you feel the audience's attention is flagging, and then this, but also this adds variety to your story. I just wanted to ask you now, you're an exponent of Harikatha, the Katha Kalakshepam, the traditional style of storytelling, the oral tradition, which has been in our tradition for many, many years, keeping it alive. How do you see the future of this? Because you just said that you would only prepare one story a year. But in the last, maybe because of the pandemic, you've been preparing one story or two stories a month. So, does that mean that there is a great demand for this traditional style of storytelling?
yes, I wouldn't say I would like to see more demand, because as I'm getting older and this pandemic is making me think more and more that life is so temporary. Life is so temporary. And what our traditions, our stories, our stories of the Lord, or stories of our great people of our land should reach many, many people. And, this reading habit is going away. Reading habit is going away. So the children, especially, um, they will read or they will look at Harry Potter. To me, Harry Potter is nothing but Chandamama of India. If you look, when we were children, we read the Chandamama every week.
Yes.
So it contained lots of stories and lots of mystic things, and but we don't read our own, we don't know our own Chandamama. So
Yes.
like the future, as I'm saying, we like to see it more. We want the children to, some people they have asked me, why don't you teach this art to the children, open up a school and teach the children? But before, the children needs to have an liking towards this art. In order to make them like it,
Yes.
parents have to come first. Parents have to see it. Parents have to take a liking towards it. It's all, this era is now, what is in it for me? It's always, at least in America, I can say you have to first ask, what is in it for me? Is it?
Yes, so Veena ji, that comes to my kind of the last question, since we have a paucity of time. I just wanted to say that, which I started my question with. So, how did you become a Harikatha storyteller? You were trained in classical music and dance, and obviously you have grown up listening. So, is there a particular training that one undergoes? Because this is a style. This is a style which is not. I'm also a storyteller. I grew up listening to Harikatha from my grandmother. But she would sit at home and tell stories to her children, interspersed with shlokams and music and dramatization and voice modulations, but tell the, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, like you said, Devi Mahatmyam, all this. But and I guess her grandfather was probably trained in this style. So, is there a training that one undergoes? Did you undergo any training?
Actually, the answer is no, because I was already older, much older when I started this art. Because when I went to India once, visiting in Bangalore, there was this Harikatha program happening in Gayana Samaj of Bangalore. I was thrilled. After many years, I'm listening to Harikatha. I listened when I was very young, and now I'm settled in America almost like 25 years. And when I went back, I got to listen. So I bought the ticket. Me and my sister went to this program. We were in the first row in Bangalore. And the Harikatha Vidwan started saying, Namaskaram, because this today's topic is about a saint of Karnataka, this state. And all the sahityam, all the poems, Devaranamas that he wrote, it is in your language, Kannada. He is from Karnataka. The thing that he wrote is in Kannada. And the temple, the Udupi Sri Krishna, or the Krishna that he talked about, the Purandara from Purandara Gad that he talked about, that is all, everything is here. But probably there is not many Harikatha artists in the state. And I am doing about your saint, about your language in my language. Or I'm going to interpret that mainly with English. So that hit me bad. When I came back to New Jersey, I expressed it to my friends and I said, it's very sad. They said, hey, it's too easy to say. If you're saying it, you do it. Let's see. So I just took it like a challenge, and I watched many artists doing this particular thing. I started evolving. I started practicing it myself, keeping, of course, like Ekalavya, all the Haridasa exponents in my head. And by listening to them, whether it's in Tamil language, Anantharaman sir, or whether it is Konanuru Shama Shastri, or Gurrajulu Naidu, or Achyut Dasar, or Keshava Dasar. So all the people, then I think I put in a lot of this dance element interspersed, and I gave a lot of importance to the orchestra music, not just playing for the song, but creating that background score and all that. So probably it is like a little bit my own style, I would say, a little bit away from the traditional. And I had Manasika gurus only, so I thank them, I pray to them. And just my goal was, to continue this art, because it is an art which involves every other art into it. And it gives entertainment, and it gives knowledge. It gives knowledge about our culture, knowledge about our saints, knowledge about our God. So, but there is, I heard in Bangalore, now they have started a school in Bangalore, and where children are enrolling to learn this art form. This is what I've heard. I've not seen it, but it's a very happy thing. But I still don't see anybody performing in Bangalore that much. Maybe in the rural side of Mangalore, there's a lot more support for this art. Like they do Yakshagana prasangas, and they, like many out of state invitations that I got from here, from United States, is, I must say, the committee members were from Mangalore. So they really got attracted towards.
Yes. Meenaji, actually, there is a revival of our ancient tradition. I find that full circle happening. People are more and more interspersing music, or even a little abhinaya, because, South Indians, especially if you're a storyteller from South India, and there are many actually in India right now. So they use these art forms to tell a story, which is actually the Harikatha style. So, but not in the paddadi of sitting down in one place, accompanied by musicians, and then there is a ritual, there is paddadi. I mean, there's a format in how you tell that story. But people are doing the modern Kada Kalakshepam. I myself, because I'm a classical singer, I work with puppets. So I kind of use this audio-visual form of puppets being the still, objects on the stage. And then I would maybe do the story of Ramayana or Prahalada, Hiranyakashyap itself, about the wicked king and the good son. And in English, which is interspersed with songs. And I've also experimented with dancers, so that collaboration of storytelling through oral narrative, using puppets, music, and dance, traditional dance, so that it makes an interesting storytelling. Veena ji, before we go, just would like to ask you that since this ancient form is being revived, and I see more and more people being drawn to this, so what do you think is the future of this style of storytelling? Not only in India, but around the world. We have different forms like the Baul singers, you have from the north, from the east, as well as in Maharashtra also you have like the Harikatha, where they sing and then with the chapli, with all those things, and then they tell the story. They could even do a little bit of dance as well. So Lavani also is kind of a form of dancing and telling a story.
Yes.
So what do you think the future holds for this style of ancient storytelling?
It should get recognition. It should get, it should, people should help to revive this art much more. And then, then only this art can survive. It is diminishing. So the future is like very fearful. It's not very bright unless people support it, people watch it, people listen to it, and people arrange for the Harikatha artists to come and perform. This art will go away. So
Yes. Do you
yeah.
do any training, special training for voice? Because you need a very powerful voice, and a voice which should sustain for over an hour or 2 hours, when you're doing a complete discourse. How do you, is there any special practice that you follow or exercise that you would like to share with our viewers?
Basically, I'm a speech pathologist, so I'm a voice specialist. So, no, mainly the voice training, in the sense you have to speak at your fundamental frequency, that it is at a natural frequency for your vocal cords, so that they sustain for a longer time. In olden days, there was no microphone system or anything. They have to raise their voice, and then again, by having classical music training, where the music teacher makes you sing from the lower pitch to the higher octaves and hold it there. We call it sustaining the phonation, and that sustaining phonation practice you got to do, and the lower notes sustaining the phonation practice you have to do. And voice glides, that is from lower pitch to that it is called voice glide practice. So that from go to high and from high to low, that you got to be practicing. And the breath holding, that is done through Shankanadam. So I always do every day, because when you're doing praying Panchajanya Shankam of Sri Krishna, keep that in the mind, and you have to blow the conch shell. So that will help you to have a breath support. So I do that, the Shankanadam, during prayer in the morning and evening. And every time I put the stopwatch and I try to do another 1 second more, 1 second more, like that with the Shankanadam practice. So the holding the breath practice you got to do. And what we call as the Valsalva method is there. That is holding the breath. There are certain exercises for it. So, small things like that. And then you have to keep your, I don't like to drink anything for this in between, because it's taking away the audience mind elsewhere. And I don't allow any of my artists to drink in between. So everyone needs to moisten their throat way before the program has begun. So keeping your throat moist is very, 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 very important that we do it.
Thank you, Veenaji. This is wonderful. I was just about to ask you that could we do a part 2 with you? Because of the time, we've already reached 1 hour, 3 minutes, and I'll talk to you because there is so much more to speak, and I wanted to specifically know more about Akkamma Devi, which is so intriguing, the story about this 12th century poet, artist, empowered woman, which I really thought we would, and I will talk to you. But thank you so much, friends, listeners. You're listening to Storytellers Cafe, and Veena Mohan is our guest from New Jersey, United States. I'm your host, Usha Venkatraman. This is a special episode, anniversary special, because Storytellers Cafe has completed 1 year. And what a wonderful way to celebrate it with an traditional oral, form of storytelling that has sustained through centuries. And as far as I know, people want to go back to it, but we do our bit to revive this ancient art form and keep it, and keep it in the forefront, because this is what our tradition and culture is all about. Yes. So thank you, Veenaji, so much. Thank you. And I will talk to you if you could have a part 2 of this edition. And we would love to have you, host you. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everybody in the United States. And a great evening. Good evening to all the viewers in India and other parts of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Usha, for hosting me. Thank you for allowing me to give my heart out on FM Bharat. Thank you very much. Thank you, all the viewers. Thank you, all the listeners. Even just by doing this, you're supporting this art. Again, from my Harikatha team, from all of us, we thank you all for helping us, for supporting this art form. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.